Okay, so coordination 101. Lots of things within drumming are obviously basically the way that different sounds fall against each other at certain times, and that can be a bit of a coordination challenge to be able to, for instance, keep a top pattern going on all the time, and then underneath that being able to change it up a little bit so that you have the flexibility to be able to coordinate and essentially deliver whatever you want without changing the kind of top pattern from that. The kind of standard rock beat might be something like when beats get up to that tempo, quite often people will be playing, like I always do in there, quarter notes on. You could play all of the eighth notes on it. But then if I wanted to go significantly faster than that, or even you reach a point where you can't go any faster, or where I can't go any faster than that. But whereas I could play so, not playing every note on the hand, kind of on the top bit, when that is kind of falling on the same note as the bass drum is very important. So that first exercise, if you take it really slowly and play two notes with the bass drum, the first one's going to land on the hi-hat, the second one's going to be on its own, and then the hi-hat and the snare, and then it kind of loops back round again. So that looks like this very slowly. And a bit faster. Kind of a bit Lars Ulrich potentially there. The relationship of where that bass drum, the second bass drum, falls off of the hi-hat is very similar to if you're going to use the first and the fourth of a group of 16th notes, which kind of the first note would therefore be a dotted 16th note, or a dotted eighth note, which means it's half the value again added to that. That second of those bass drum notes is again playing off the hi-hats. Although this was eighth notes that was being played on the hi-hats, it's still falling between that. So it's the same kind of relationship of the note falling between two hi-hat strokes. And you can even take that back down to quarter notes. And with the eighths back in. When you break that coordination issue, then that gives you kind of more capability and flexibility to be able to play whatever you want off of the hands, while the hands kind of remaining static. Applies to if you wanted to do a one-handed kind of feel on the snare drum. Again, you can do a very similar thing. And by playing that note on the ride cymbal at the same time as you're starting that four note feel, that keeps the pulse going at that time. So especially important in jazz. In jazz, you probably will see that the kind of ride pattern that goes driving on practically throughout, you know, unless there's a big two-handed feel going on. That goes on throughout it, and the snare and the bass drum are kind of often referred to as salt and pepper, that just go on to add different flavour and hits and bombs and things like that. Here end of the lesson.